Hi everybody, welcome to Walker's Guide and welcome to day 29 of 30 Days of Wild. And what a trip it's been. 30 days almost of going out and visiting every single day something to do with our wild in the UK. And today it's a beautiful sunny day, and of course I'm not at Hainault. I'm out at West Hanningfield Reservoir, which is where we saw the Scots pine, and today I'm looking for a different tree. Yes, it's a tree again because they stand still long enough to be seen. What a beautiful grassland next door to Nature Reserve, but with loads of butterflies and moths flying around enjoying their time on the tree edge. So this little area here between the woodland and the grassland is actually known as an ecotone. It's a transition. So you're going from what is effectively the roost, the overnighting area of the insects and the mammals that feed upon them and the birds that feed on them, into the daytime feeding area for the butterflies and the moths. And we can see them, I don't know if this camera can pick them up, but them buzzing around. So why have I come back to West Hanningfield? It's not just for that lovely field, it's actually for one tree, or one species of tree, that's really quite uncommon now. And the reason it's here is because of some of the work that's been done to it. But I'll explain about that when we get to it. So our tree for today is this one here. Now, this tree was a lot more common. If you come 100 years ago to the UK, there would have been 20 times the number of these trees, if not more. But unfortunately, due to people, huge numbers of this tree died across the UK in the 1970s. Literally thousands, hundreds of thousands across the UK dead. And the leaves of this tree are so easily identifiable, not by the drip tip, not by the serrations, but by where the leaf joins to its stem, because one side is much taller than the other. You can see this side, it rounds off and down, whereas this side is almost 2 leaf ribs taller. That's absolutely indicative of the elm species, and in this case, wych elm. No, it's called wych elm. I'm not asking a question there. Ulmus glabra, the wych elm. So the wych doesn't mean mythical or legendary creature that turns you into a toad as soon as it looks at you. It actually comes from an old English word which means pliable. It's the same root that we get wicker, as in wicker furniture, or weak from. And it's because the timbers that come out the top are pliable, they bend easily. And the Latin or scientific name, Ulmus glabra, glabra means hairless, because when the tree puts out its growths, they don't have any small twigs on them. The tree is severely rare, or relatively rare, due to the Dutch elm disease, which killed off most of them. And this tree and the other trees in this hedgerow are protected and are saved because they've been cut down. The Dutch elm disease is spread by the elm borer beetle, which flies along, and when it sees an elm, they come and land. And that then allows a fungi that they carry, not intentionally, into the tree and kills it. And so we've got examples of living wych elm that's obviously been cut back, ready or for the chance to survive. And then in a minute we'll see some that's died away. There's an elm that is dead and slowly being consumed by nature. And we can see this hedgerow made up of hawthorn and hornbeam and field maples and brambles. There's a beautiful field maple that's been cut back there. The probably oldest elm in the UK was up in Scotland at Beaulieu Priory, and it actually unfortunately succumbed to Dutch elm disease in 2022, and by 2023 had already collapsed. The priory that it was in the grounds of was founded in about 1230, and the tree was already there, which is quite incredible. 1230, so we're in 2025, so 1,000 years ago. No, 800 years ago. 800 years ago, and that tree was already there when we as humans built a beautiful but still relatively basic building compared to what we've got now, and that tree has grown all that time. Like some of the other trees we've seen on this series, the wych elm is a hermaphrodite. That means it's got male and female plants in the same flower, and it's wind pollinated. And once the tree has been pollinated, the seeds will form, and those seeds will be like little seeds in wingsuits. This one is growing to a decent height, and I expect will soon be for the top. The top will be taken off to avoid it being detected by the elm borer beetle, which will then give it Dutch elm disease. And the fungi that gives Dutch elm disease, there's very little the tree can do about it. It succumbs really quickly. In fact, here's a stump of one that died quite some time ago. But it's still an important source for food for some boring insects. Fungi grow on it, and it will slowly become compost and soil again. Elm used to be linked to sadness and death, possibly because it has the ability to drop dead limbs without warning, or perhaps because you used to make coffins out of elm. Its leaf on the wych elm is one of our largest native leaves that can size up to 16 centimetres long. So the key characteristic on the leaf is that joint. The bark can be lightly fissured. Oh, and in folk terms, elm holds the power to give you prophetic dreams. So you want to know the future? Sleep with a bit of wych elm under your pillow, I guess. Please note there's no scientific evidence to say that will work, but look at the size of some of those leaves. So a beautiful, quite rare tree, quite often found more northernly. In Scotland, it's more common. At one point, it was even known as the Scotch elm or the Scottish elm. But that's all for today. That's our trip to see a rarer native tree. So I'll see you again tomorrow for day 30, our last one of 30 Days of Wild. Bye!